Hey guys, it's Shan. I've just made some amazing Dollar Tree DIY Christmas crafts that I'm so excited for you guys to see. I had so much fun making them and I can't wait for you guys to see them. Please comment down below and let me know what you think. And please also like and subscribe if you enjoyed them. Let me know if there's anything you think I can improve on or what direction you think I should go in the future as far as my crafts are concerned. Alright, let's get into it. For my first Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take one of these beautiful Dollar Tree jars. They come with these beautiful silver ribbon, but I don't actually need the ribbon. So I'm going to remove it and place it to the side and probably use it for another craft in the future. I'm also using this Waverly Clad semi-permanent acrylic paint. I really love this color. It's not a full white, like a white. It's kind of like an off-white, and that's what I'm looking for this DIY craft. But you can always go with just simple white if you want. So I'm removing the top from this. Haven't opened it yet. Let's get this off. There we go. And it's gonna give it this nice creamy looking color. Now I'm also using one of the sponge brushes from Dollar Tree. I like it better than a regular paintbrush. That way I can kind of spread the paint on the jar if I want to, or I can dab it on and give it a layered look. So we're gonna just put a little bit of the paint on my sponge brush. Go ahead and just paint over it. Like I said, I really think I like dabbing on better because it gives it more layers in one go than if I just wipe it on with the sponge brush. I'm able to cover a lot more this time. And I won't have to go through as many times if I just spread it on. I'm already loving this so much. Let's get a little bit more paint on there. The only thing about the sponge is it absorbs so much paint. So even though it looks like there's nothing on there, there's still a lot in there. And magically my vase is all dry. So I'm going to take this twine and super glue the end piece to the vase, and then I'm going to slowly wrap it around, all the way around, back and forth, until I get a nice double layer of the twine. Once I get it to about where I want it, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and cut it off, and take my hot glue gun and glue it down to secure. At this point, I'm taking my lighter and I'm burning off the kind of jagged ends so that it'll give it a nice sleek look. You see there's no more jagged ends on the vase. Now I'm taking my Believe Dollar Tree sign and I'm pulling off the little flower piece and putting the Believe portion to the side for a later DIY. Once I fluff up that little flower piece, I'm going to take my hot glue gun, add a little glue to the back, and place that piece onto the vase. I think it turned out beautifully as is, but of course I want to add a little bit of a flair to my vase. So I'm taking these little gold and separating them out so that it'll give the vase a nice full look. I think these little pieces are gorgeous and they're gonna really make my space pop. In all, I believe I put about 4 of those pieces into my vase. It's a little work getting the little pieces to separate, but it's so worth it in the end. Look how gorgeous that is, guys. For this DIY, I'm taking this 24-inch wreath that I bought from Walmart. I believe it was $4.98, $4.97, something like that. A really good price for a wreath that big. I'm fluffing it out to get it ready for these beautiful golden snow trees that I bought from Five Below. They were only $2, guys. That's a really good deal for trees that size. The best that I've seen so far for trees like that. Now I'm placing them on my wreath. I'm gonna put one a little bit higher up than the other one. I think that placement looks really nice that way. And I'm taking a zip tie, placing it under the wreath, and I'm pulling it tight onto it in order to get it to stay in place. I love using zip ties for my DIYs. That way, if I decide to reuse anything in the future, such as the following year, all I have to do is cut those pieces out and reuse them as I please. Next, I'm going to take my ornaments that I purchased from Dollar Tree. They are in all 3 beautiful white Christmas tree ornaments that I thought would look gorgeous on this wreath. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to place them on there. I thought about putting 2 at the top, but I decided to just go with 1 and then take these white holly berry picks that I purchased from Dollar Tree and placed them around the white Christmas tree ornament. I thought it looked really pretty this way. Once I figured out how I wanted to put them on there, I removed my Dollar Tree Christmas bulb and took a zip tie once again and I pulled it through the wreath and through the bottom portion of those white holly berry picks and cut that zip tie off. Then I took my Dollar Tree bulb and placed it right back in the middle of those 2 white holly berry picks. And I took my zip tie, wrapped it around the wreath, and pulled it tight to make sure that my bulb was nice and secure. It was a little bit difficult trying to get the bulb and the zip tie on there the way that I wanted it, but I worked it around until I got it in a position where I liked it and I felt like was perfect for this wreath. Next, I took the remaining 2 Dollar Tree bulbs and tried to figure out how I wanted to put those on my wreath. I have 2 recycled gold bulbs from Target on my tree from last year that I decided to use for this wreath. I finally got my placement the way I wanted it. I think it looks really nice this way. And I secured those Dollar Tree bulbs and with zip ties just to make sure they stayed in place. Now for the gold bulbs that I purchased from Target, I decided to take the green wire pieces that you can use to attach the bulbs to the Christmas tree and just wrap it around one of the branches on the wreath. Alright, all done. And I think this wreath turned out so beautiful. It's one of my favorite DIYs that I've done so far. I love it. It looks gorgeous on my white wall in my living room. For my final DIY, I'm taking this bamboo wreath from Dollar Tree and my Believe sign I put to the side earlier in these gorgeous gold picks. Flower picks. I'm also using this sponge that I purchased to try to scratch off some of the glitter from the Believe sign. In the process of scratching off some of the glitter, I broke it in half. But that's what our trusty glue gun is for, right? So I tried to glue those two pieces back together and make sure they were nice and secure. I decided that I wanted to paint my Believe sign a snow white color. I thought that would be so beautiful for the Christmas season and it would look so nice on my wreath. So I'm taking my paintbrush and I'm painting over the glitter portion of the Believe sign just to give it a nice little white look. You want to make sure that you fill in all those cracks on the sign. As you can see, it broke apart once again. That's all right. That's what the glue gun's for. We're just going to use a little bit more reinforcements the next time. So I'm going all over, making sure I get all into those nooks and crannies, and then I don't leave any glitter portions showing. Alright, once I'm satisfied with my first coat of paint on my Believe sign, I am going to take it and place it to the side and allow it to dry so I can get started on the next part of this craft. I'm taking my bamboo wreath and those beautiful gold flower picks that I purchased from Dollar Tree, and I'm pulling those gold flower picks off of the stems and putting the stem to the side. I'll probably use that later for another craft. And I'm taking my bamboo wreath and trying to figure out how I want to place those little gold flower picks on the wreath. I wanted to make it look like little trees. I want them to be 3 in a row in the back and then 2 in the front. but I have to kind of figure out how I want to place them and what looks best for this particular wreath. One of the problems that I encountered with these little golden flower picks is that they are kind of bent a little bit and they want to lean towards the middle of the bamboo wreath. So I had to kind of figure out how I can get them on there and get them to stay centered without them all leaning into the middle. I placed 3 of the big flower picks in the back and 2 smaller ones in the front. And I'm securing them all with my hot glue gun, making sure they're in place, kind of bending them around to make sure that they're not all leaning towards the middle, as I stated earlier. Now I put the 3 larger ones in the back and then the 2 smaller ones towards the front. One, I went like 1 step down for the middle-sized one, and then for the smallest one, I brought it all the way towards the bottom of the bamboo wreath. That gave the wreath a nice forest look that I was really going for my decor. Once all pieces have been glued down and secured, I'm going to place the bamboo wreath over to the side and let the pieces dry. And I'm going to pull my believe sign back out so that I can put another layer of paint over it, just to make sure that all the gold is completely covered and that it gives it a nice even look. I was running low on that snow paint. I was having to force it out of the bottle, but I made it work, so that's all that matters, right? Once our second layer of paint has dried on our believe sign, we're going to take our bamboo wreath and take our believe sign and try to figure out how we can hot glue these 2 pieces together without them coming apart. I put hot glue on the back, but I wasn't so sure that it would stay together. So I had this bright idea to take a crafting popsicle stick and break it in half, break a really small piece off the end. So I took one of those sticks and I broke a small piece off, but it was still too big. So I took a pair of scissors and I cut off a piece of it, and I placed it right in between the bead and leaf, and I hot glued it on in place. Now I wanted to make sure that you could barely see the popsicle stick from the other side of the leaf. And I think I got it on there pretty nicely. So once that dries, I'm going to take my believe and place it on the top portion of my bamboo wreath. and get it nice and centered, and take my trusty hot glue gun and place some hot glue in the hollowed out part of the B and the E. I'm placing as much hot glue as I need to put on there because we definitely don't want that piece to fall off, especially after we went through so much trouble to get them both together. And just applying pressure to make sure it stays on there. This is a nice, simple DIY, but it's so beautiful and it's so gorgeous as it is, and I love it. I think it's gonna fit perfectly with my decor.